Oh. All right. Hope the sound is good. Everything looks as it should be. So hopefully we're all good here. Thank you guys for being here. Let's see. So Ken, that's weird because I sent out, if you're on my mailing list, I sent out 2 emails, one original one and then a automatic reminder email that just kind of goes out automatically. But I appreciate you being here. So let's get started. I was just playing around there, noodling on If I Rebel. So let's just get started, play some music. As always, please, if you have any questions, thoughts, anything, you know how much I love answering questions. All right. Here we go. If I rebel. Man, I forgot to shut off my microphone, so you guys are hearing all that clickety clickety click sound of the pick. If that's not a problem for you, it's one less thing for me to think about. But I definitely don't mind muting my mic so you guys can hear the guitar better. I'm looking at these other emails too. You didn't get an email. I don't know what possibly could have happened. Sometimes, like when I put those emails through MailChimp, I will filter out, like, in other words, if people haven't opened up an email in like 6 or 12 months, I feel, well, they're certainly not interested anymore. So sometimes that might have happened, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Hey, Ken, how are you? Great to see you. Wes, thank you for sending me that gift. That was really nice. Wes Fan Man, I appreciate that very much. And thank you, by the way, also for the positive feedback on the posts that I make, like on Instagram and everything else. California, hello. Okay, great. This is great. Yeah, it only took me 20 years to figure out how to get it so it sounds good all the time. Sometimes people do transcribe. I got an email from somebody very recently saying that they were going to do, forget which one it was. It might have been Sunny, the one of those Instagram posts I did. And whenever I get those, I try to post them. Like, I put them on my webpage. There's a dedicated section on the website that's just called Free Stuff. And there's a fellow professor named Bert Ligon, hopefully I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, who did a bunch of them. So if people send them to me, I'll just create like a space on my website so people have access to that. Fabiaski, thank you. And thank you again, too, for being so supportive on all the posts that I make on Instagram. I'm trying to do something every other day. I mean, I've got I'm joking around about doing this for so long, but it is true. But everything is so templated out. If I'm just sitting here practicing, it just takes me an extra few minutes to turn on. Lately, I've been using Logic Pro, but it really doesn't matter, just to record myself and play along with those backing tracks from the Fieldbook app. So I'm trying to post more often than I have. Plus, now that I don't have to work at the University of North Florida anymore, so I have plenty of spare time. Yeah, and happy Father's Day to all you fathers. Hey, Joe, how are you? Yeah, hopefully if I don't hear from my kids tomorrow, I'm just going to be so upset. Because they're old enough to do the right thing on Father's Day. Thank you, Joe. And I get this question a lot. It is, and hopefully I'm pronouncing this right, like it's Chambord, right? Or Chambord, I don't know. But yes, the answer is yes. But honestly, I think what gets the sound that you probably are asking me about is more the strings and the pick. The pick more than anything, in my opinion. This is, what you would call it, the ProPlec 1.5 pick. I'm going to hold it up to my microphone. You guys don't see it. It's like just out of the camera. But it's the ProPlec 1.5 picks. Playing on the corner of those gets a really nice warm sound. And then I'm playing through, you guys can see it right here, that Dream 65 stomp box basically from UAD, which emulates a twin reverb. But it really gets a meaty nice, really nice sound. All right, let's do some more music here. Let's see. That was, by the way, I just kind of randomly picked that. That tempo was so killing. 202. That If I Rebel. That's such a swinging tempo. Really, really is a lot of fun. I'll let you guys know I'm in the middle of just doing all the PDF stuff, like doing all the written material for this next lesson on How Deep is the Ocean. I should have that done definitely sometime next week. But like I said, this is where the most work is for me, to editing the video and all the goofy things that I say that I delete. But by far creating the PDF, even though I've got apps to help me transcribe my own playing, it's still a tremendous amount of editing and trying to get the tablature like exactly right. So that's the most time consuming part of all of it. On a side note, when I first started doing this so many years ago, I didn't create any written material at all. I just sat in front of a camera, taught a lesson, and threw it up on the internet. So I was able to knock out so much content. But now with the backing tracks and everything else. But anyway, enough yapping. I don't want to feel like so chatty right now. All right, so here's How Deep is the Ocean in C minor. This is 166 is the tempo. How deep is the ocean? Maybe this is a better solution, just me moving the microphone to the side. Because it was bugging me, hearing the pick noise. There's one more thing I want to do here. All right. Let's see if this works too. Hold on. Nope. All right. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. How deep is the ocean? Let's see. Just looking at some comments. Jay Sroge, I hope I'm pronouncing that even close. Thank you so much for that. It was a kind gift. Thanks. Never Let Me Go, Fabiaski. I don't really know that tune. I apologize. This is from Portugal. From what I've been reading, one of the nice places for an American to retire. Probably tired of tourists. Anyway, oh, your comment just appeared. Hold on a second. So, let's see. So, yeah, as you see, I'm playing through the UAD Dream 65. It's also going through. I mean, I really don't push. For those of you guys who are familiar with the UA Universal Audio, you know, they're really, really great. I have no affiliation with them. It's not a kind of plug. I just like using their stuff. But it's also going through an emulation of the Neve console. But the whole point of like these emulations, you know, is supposed to give it some saturation, some warmth that you would expect from electronics when you plug through them versus just everything being digital. But to really get the sound, that authentic sound, you have to drive the signal into it. And I haven't spent that much time trying to get that to happen. But that's the true signal path. It's going through the Dream 65 into this Neve emulation 1073. And there's a touch of plate reverb that I have on there too. But the recording I did at Trading 8 Studio in New Jersey, he had a Neve console. Without question, it was the best guitar sound I ever got on a recording in my life. And I haven't done a lot, but it blew anything that I was able to do here at home, you know, away. I was like, holy crap. I mean, it was a really killing amp too. It was a Fender amp. It was really large. I don't think I'd ever seen that before. And, you know, exceptional microphones. And, you know, he's a great engineer. But, man, I couldn't believe that it was so inspiring to play that day because it's just, the sound is so, so good. So when people say, you know, is digital replacing analog gear? Like, I don't, like, my experience is no. But probably eventually, I guess. I don't know. All right. All right, so no more comments, so I'll just continue to play some music. Yeah, that's a great tempo too, because it's like right on the verge for me where I can accurately double time. You know, sometimes I was making mistakes chop-wise, but it's at that cusp of where, you know, I'm about to fall apart there. Let me go back. Let's see what tempo that was. So that was 166, so twice that. Man, so terrible at math. I believe that's 132. I mean, 332. But it's one thing to play double time lines at 166 than playing rhythm changes at over 300 because the changes are just going by so fast on rhythm changes. 2 beats a piece where you have a lot of breathing room. So in my opinion, there's no comparison. It has nothing to do with chops at that point. Do you have like language that you can express all those changes at those kind of tempos, which is hard. Let's try this. I'm going to go through the head once before I play this, just to make sure. I'll leave the mic up for a second. No. That's the harp part. So that's Joe Henderson's tune called Inner Urge. Let's give that a shot. great tune. Good tune for practicing a lot of different things. Yeah. So I guess the balance is okay. I feel. Hold on a second. So I think I'm kind of almost clipping the channel here. So I think what I might do is just lower this a little bit. Lower my backing track a little bit. I might have to dial that in when I play another song. All right. Let's see where we are. Hey, Paul. Let's see. These are the kind of questions I love, so don't feel like you're ever putting me out. It's one of the main reasons I like doing these. Just honestly, also it's kind of fun just to speak to you guys. A lot of your names I recognize from being on my website, and it's great to just kind of connect. A couple of things, by the way, before I answer that question, I'll put it back up in a second. The one thing I noticed about this app, only great stuff, but when it says tempo, because I felt a difference, like playing the head out, that it was faster. I mean, not hugely faster, but it was definitely faster. When I put it into like a DAW, like I said, it doesn't matter which one. I also said I've been messing around with Logic Pro lately. They're not to click track. They count off the tempo at that number, but it's not a consistent tempo, which part of the reason I think these feel so great. And again, not anything I'm talking about, I have no affiliation. The only thing I affiliate myself with is myself. If I remember pushing my lessons, yes, I'm definitely doing that. But as far as gear, Universal Audio, or the Field Book, I mean, obviously I know Jonathan Kreisberg personally, and I hope it's super successful. But it's something that I use it every day just for shedding. Every single day, I just love it. So inspiring. But anyway, I thought you might be interested in that those tempos are not consistent. Unlike, playing along with a drum loop, which I think is part of what makes it sound so nice. All right, so there was a question up here. On a tune, most of the time, I'm not thinking about anything. Like on standard tunes, where we have these kind of predictable chord progressions, like 2/5 to the 1, 2/5 to the 6, 2/5 to the 4, things that are just in every single tune. By this time in my life, I can just hear those naturally and just respond to them instinctively. So I'm not thinking about any of that. But on a tune like this, where especially the second half, where it's all those major 7 chords. If you guys don't know that chord progression, it's E major to D flat major to D major to B major to C major. So it's a pattern of going down a minor third and up a half step. It's really very, very brilliant, And then he changes the quality of the last 2 chords to B flat 7 to G major. So I guess he just changes 1 chord quality, and then back to F sharp minor 7 flat 5. So to navigate all that, it's a lot to think about. So I have spent, pardon me, spent time shedding. Let me just get a glass of water here. So what I typically would do, like if I played E major here, the next chord is D flat major. And for the demonstration, I just used these same forms so you could see how the progression moves. But in reality, for practicing, I would do this. Then D flat major here, D major here, B major here, C major here, A major here, B flat 7 here, G major 7 here. So they're all in the same place. So when I do the... And I just do that in every single position. What I mean in every single position is I would just find where's the next E major chord that I typically would play. That would probably be here. So E major, D flat, D, B, C, A, G, or B flat 7, G, then back to F sharp minor 7 flat 5. And underneath every one of those forms that I just played, I have all the language that I have access to in every single spot on the guitar. And that's how I practiced getting the instrument together. And I vividly remember, being younger and feeling like, man, I don't have that material as well when my hand is here, for instance. And I would just prioritize trying to make everything nice and balanced across the instrument. But that's why I'm such an advocate of putting whatever you're working on into tunes immediately, because You could be sitting there practicing, you're playing E major over an E major chord. But man, if you're playing at a medium tempo like that, and those major chords are moving all over the place, and you haven't practiced navigating that, no matter how good you are at that moment at playing major seven chords, you were going to get killed trying to get through that. So it's been really effective for me, and the guitar just works that way. You know what I mean? It's such a visual instrument, and it's such a limited instrument as far as like chord voicings, and so it's very easy to just plot the instrument out. And the other part of that is anytime I learn anything new, whether it's a new line or a new voicing, whatever it may be, I always add it to what I already have. I don't, in other words, I resist trying to being some sort of outlier shape or idea. I just incorporate it into what I already know, much like we learn how to speak a language. So, yeah, that's it. And Ken, no, I mean, post simultaneously. There's an app called Buffer, or yeah, I mean, and it's great because it allows you to link all your social media accounts. So for me, that's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, which that's the least. I think I have the least followers on that particular thing. But in any case, I'm able to just push them all out to all those sites at once. So if you're not on Instagram, you should still be seeing everything on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok. Scott Wackerman, yes, that is one of my favorite Joe tunes for sure. So Ken, the reason that you're having problems also almost what I was talking about a moment ago. I'm right now simultaneously posting to both YouTube and Facebook at the same time. So you guys can't see each other's comments on each platform, which is definitely a drawback. I see them all right now on one thing. So another piece of software called Ecamm, which is designed to do exactly this. But this way, it's going out to two places at once, which is great. So sorry for the fact that you're not seeing everybody's comments. I didn't realize that until the very first one when people were like, hey, I don't see comments. So always learning something new and trying to maintain. In other words, when new technology comes around, I don't resist it at all. I welcome it and see how I can incorporate it into either my playing or my lessons. Let's see. So Joe, yeah, let me guys, let me do me one favor here. I'm going to mute my vocal mic right now, and I'm going to get a balance because what I was doing is I was pushing my guitar level, and it started to clip. So I'm going to play this track and just kind of the same track just now, and I'm just going to noodle around until I get levels. But I'm going to mute my mic right now. I think that should be okay going forward. All right, Serenity. Man, that's a beautiful tune. As I'm getting that called up, and I have to go look at the lead sheet, so I'm going to bring it up on my computer in a minute. But I remember when I was in my 20s working up in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania at beautiful Mount Airy Lodge, we had a group called the Pocono Jazz Quartet, PJQ. And I transcribed every head on that Joe Henderson record, man. They're all so beautiful, especially those harmonies between the trumpet and the saxophone. Our group, the quartet, was alto and guitar, so we just played those parts. Man, it was such a fun time. But that record, I guess that's in and out if I'm not mistaken. Right now, I'm just looking for the lead sheet. I wish it was a way. I mean, because I've probably like a lot of you guys have all the PDF, the real books. But you can't search them by name, and I just don't want to go dig through them in front of you guys right now. So let's see if I can find one of these that doesn't have a watermark all over it. I better put Joe Henderson in here because I just called up some religious music by mistake. Here, hold on, Israeli cheat. Joe Henderson. And I know I have this. As a matter of fact, I told you I transcribed all these, but man, so long ago, I have no idea where they are. Let's see if I can. I'm so sorry. Just give me another minute. All right, this one looks good. All right, let's check it out. What a nice tune. Man, that's really nice. On a B flat 7 chord. All right, let's give this a shot. Questioning that one melody note there. I think it's that. That's wrong too. That's a G. So here, this is a perfect example of where the internet could be great and it can be bad. And this is God's a person's. I won't say his name because it's not cool, you know. But these are mistakes. But he's got his name and contact information. So we want to contact him and let him know that he's made some errors. I've seen that when I was working on Russell Malone's tune called Mugshot. I originally just looked for lead sheets because, quite frankly, I wanted less work than for me to transcribe it. But it was like so messed up wrong. It was the only one I could find, so I ended up having to transcribe the whole thing myself. So be careful. Isn't it just that? Like 3 E flats in a row? I know you guys can't respond to me in real time, but yeah, so there's 2 mistakes in here, and I would bet money on it in this particular lead sheet that a person actually put their name on and asked them to to contact them. All right, let's do this Serenity. Let's move this mic. Hopefully the balance is better, Joe. If it's not, after I'm done, please let me know. And Keith, hold on. Keith, I just saw your message come in about Fourscore. I do have that. I'm going to look into what you're talking about here. All right. Yeah, it's a great tune. Whenever I'm looking at music like I just did, I find myself practicing more. Meaning that because I'm concentrating on what's on the page. I'm not making excuses. I'm fine. I'm at this point in my life. I just sound like me. But on a tune that I really know and just I'm feeling and can anticipate all the harmony that's coming my way. I tend to play more musically, but still, that was a lot of fun. And as it kept on going, I was getting better at it. I kept on making a mistake on that last. A little tricky. It's just fourths, but you know how fourths are on the guitar. This is one of those things too. Like if I found myself learning this tune for a gig, and that was tripping me up like it is, I just make an exercise. I'm still messing it up. With the metronome, and just play that for a while. Just try to work out the kinks rather than hoping it just gets better, But yeah, that's a great request. Thanks. Let's see. Let's see what's going on here. So I'll ask this now. Like there's a delay. I don't know how long it is, but it's significant. So I'll just put it out there. Joe, let me know if the audio should have been better at that point. And let's see. You know, it's interesting you saying this, Fabiaski, because when I was younger, that's how I began to play jazz. I don't know why. Maybe because in my own mind, I'm thinking that maybe because in jazz, the upbeats are the ones that are more accented, like on bop lines. You know, those upbeats like that. And since your, downstrokes are going to be more powerful, I don't know if this is right, but I just always attributed it to gravity, something as simple as that. So I used to play like you're describing. Maybe could do it right now again, but I've worked so hard at breaking that habit. And it really was after seeing a few guitar players. Like one of them, notably, was Russell. When Russell Malone visited UNF, he had one of the most powerful right hands I'd ever seen in my life. The only other person I think about that is like would be Pat Martino. Even though they play totally different, the power in their right hands was, man, it's astounding. You know, it really is. It really, really is. If you witness that firsthand, like, holy crap, you know. But both those guys had a similar thing where it was down, up, down, up. So I really worked hard to break a habit that I had for like multiple years, like decades. But, if you want something bad enough, you work at it, eventually you'll get there. But yeah, so I don't have an answer. I was successful both ways. And I can tell, like, when I hear recordings from me much earlier in life, I could hear the difference. Not in the music, it's all been the same for a long time. I just mean the attack, the phrase, not the phrasing, it's more the attack. So, yeah. Let's see. Here's That Rainy Day. I don't know if they have that in the thing, but I'd be happy to just kind of play it in the thing. I don't remember seeing that in there, but I'll play it anyway. So many great versions of that. Let's just see if it's in here. He's definitely adding a lot of tunes. Nope. But Yeah, there's so many great versions of that. I snuck in the. I don't know if Kenny Burrell came up with it, but that Kenny Burrell reharm where he goes. Ah, yeah. All right. Oh, this is awesome too, you guys, man. Found that you can ask Google AI which real book a certain tune is in. Man, you know, I don't, I know there's a varying ages of people on here, but I know that also most of us are kind of close together in age. But man, I hope we live long enough to see the future of this because it is absolutely insane. I mean, I'll just tell you very quickly. Yesterday I was having a problem with my audio setup on my TV. Like, I've got, it's decent stuff. I've got like a nice Bravia, Sony Bravia TV and a Sennheiser MBO soundbar, which is just extraordinarily beautiful, man, for a soundbar. I could live in an apartment and a PlayStation 5. But anyway, I was having problems, getting it to really work. Man, I went on the ChatGPT, or it might even be what you're talking about, Ken, just doing a regular Google search, and now the AI agent comes up first. I mean, I must have been with her for like 15, I'm calling it a her, for 15 minutes as, you can see it, as you guys know, you see it just searching multiple sites at one time, gathering all this information. And I even took a snapshot of my television, like the settings I had. So I might have been talking to ChatGPT because I pay for that. And I don't know if I could have uploaded a document just to the generic Google search that we're talking about. I'm forgetting right now. But it was remarkable, and sure enough, I've got the stuff sounding like I had it for years, and really wasn't using it to its full capability, man. But just mind blowing. It's like having a personal assistant that just never gets tired of you or your terrible jokes, and so there's a lot of good, obviously, but I know there's a lot of danger involved in this. That's the part I'm interested in. Not in the dangerous part. I just want to see how things play out, essentially. But in any case. This is great, this Keith. What I should really do is on all the tunes, because there's not many of these, the ones that I don't know on this app that Jonathan has, I should just download the lead sheets. Super simple and be more prepared. And let's see. Nick Williams, which app is it? This is an app called the Field Book. It's a subscription-based app. I think it's really fairly priced. A yearly subscription. I forget what it is, but I remember it being very inexpensive. When you overlay the index, it puts bookmarks in the start of each song. This is really good to know. I'm going to take a look at that for sure. And then Ken, so tell me if that worked. You're seeing two chats simultaneously. Yeah. All right, let's see. Thank you guys by the way, I'm not skimming through these comments. I'm reading every single one of them. And thank you for your compliments. Okay, and Joe's giving me the A-OK, that things are sounding good. Yeah, he was. And I'll just tell you a very quick story where when he passed away, there's a bunch of guys in the Philadelphia area from Duquesne University. I'm forgetting some of their names now. But it was like a group of 3 guitar players that I think were part of that jazz program there. And several of them were very close to Pat. Obviously, they live in the same city, And we were having kind of a Zoom thing. They invited me to talk about my experience with him. And there's no, denying that I'm definitely influenced by Pat. Is definitely one of my favorite guitar players, one of my favorite human beings. But they were playing me stuff that I'd never heard before, like stuff from cassette tapes of Pat just practicing, like as a kid. It's super raw because it's just a cassette in his bedroom, I guess. And he was young. It was extraordinary. I'm not, and you guys know me. I mean, I'm not just saying this. What's that word? Hyperbole. It's flat out was mind blowing. I was almost begging you guys have got to release this stuff and let people hear this. It's amazing. All kinds of like things that he was writing that had like almost kind of classical influences. But the thing that struck me was just like the extraordinary facility. It's absolutely, I'd never heard anything like that in my life. It's absolutely flawless. I know I'm saying a lot, but as a kid, I think I mentioned to you guys, as a kid, when I first heard him, a guitar teacher played me um, like all the guys that he loved, like Benson and Martino and Joe Pass, et cetera, et cetera. And, I was a kid who just was playing like Stairway to Heaven and stuff like that in the 70s, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing, and that really struck me and still sticks with me today. Just meaning the facility of these guitar players, without any distortion, any tricks, to hide the mistakes you may be making. And I chased that. I wanted that really bad. I wanted to be able to play this instrument that well, and yeah. So anyway, without getting we're way off on a tangent, but yeah, huge admiration for him, as well as Benson and Wes and Joe Pass. Like it's pretty transparent when I'm playing, where you can hear every record that I probably ever checked out. Ken Lewis, you asked Chat AI where to find some of your specific lessons. Okay, that's interesting, but that there's a really great search engine on the webpage itself that I've added tags to. So if you're looking for autumn leaves, you could type in autumn leaves, but even if you typed in like minor 2/5 or something that might be a tag, I've taken a decent amount of time making sure they're easily searchable. Okay, cool. Ken Lewis is like in mission control with both apps open. Let's do another one. So that was, I'm trying to remember what we just did. Oh, Serenity. Let's see what else we have here. I just put this. I really love playing this though. This tune Janine, so much fun because you've got that open A flat minor. It's a beautiful song. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play this. This is a tune called Janine. I think it's Duke Pearson. That's such a great track. Yeah, nothing like it, man. To hear these real musicians, shaping these chorus after chorus. The way it's just so much fun. Um, anyway, I saw a couple of comments pop up as I was playing. Let myself in my peripheral vision see it, and I was trying to formulate an answer. Let's see if I can find these. Yeah, it's on an automatic timer. I apologize for that, but I'll look into making it stay up there longer. And by the way, these kind of things, man, are so helpful for me to improve any of this aspect of the Bergen video lesson thing, whether it's the live videos, posting on Instagram Reels, creating lesson content. I love hearing from you guys, and just a very short other quick story. When I was first starting this, I remember I was trying to emulate the look of when like 60 Minutes or whatever, where they'd be interviewing somebody, but it would be the shot would be from the side of their face, and the person would be looking at the interviewer. And I just thought that had a real kind of cool look, and that's how I used to look at the camera when I first started doing these lessons. And then there was a guy who's on my website, actually was in broadcasting, and he said, "Do not do that, Barry. Look directly into the camera." I took that to heart, and ever since then, have been doing that. So any advice, I always welcome it. And like I said, it's super, super helpful for me to understand what it's like on your side of things. So yes, so thanks. Let's see. And I appreciate this really very, very much. And I'm like constantly trying to improve it. As you guys know, it's not that I'm at the mercy of, but Vimeo OTT is the host, and they do a lot of stuff behind the scenes for me and everybody else on that website. And they're always trying to update it. I don't know if you've seen this subtle little things that I have nothing to do with, like the ability where now there's like a big red notification when something is brand new, or the continue watching list. It's very similar to what it looks like on Apple TV, whatever it may be. The ability for me to go in there and identify things that are the most popular and put a little tag on it. These are all little tiny little things that they continually add, in this roadmap that they have. And the one thing that I'm excited about, and you're not seeing it yet, or maybe you are, is more conversational stuff between you and me. Because, in other words, if I want to reach out to you guys, I have to go on to my MailChimp list and filter it out to people that I know that are on the website, and contact you, letting you know there's going to be a Facebook Live, for instance. But one of the things that I've been asking them to do forever is to have more communication within the site itself, where if somebody besides just the comments on the individual lessons, which are great, and even there, I'm sure you're noticing now there's emoji buttons and the ability to like a comment, and they're adding something I think called VIP status, that I think I have to set a threshold for how many messages you've sent, kind of stuff like that. But what I'm getting at is there's only so much that I personally can do. So when you're asking me questions about modifying the website, really, for me, it's basically just the overall layout and some colors. There's really not much more I can do beyond the workings of it. So it was a long-ass answer to what I believe is what somebody asked me on that question that I kind of glanced at when I was playing. So Ken, yeah, I need to update this. I have actually, I think I removed it now that I think about it. I had a video that described that, but it's changed so much. But just flat out, I can tell you, because it's just so simple. Like a lot of people who work in a DAW, like a digital audio workstation, I'm using the Apollo Twin by Universal Audio, which is fantastic because it's latency free. Even right now, I'm playing through some pretty heavy duty plugins with no latency at all. I'm hearing the same thing you are right now. So all the processing is done on the hardware itself. So you can, obviously I would recommend getting the latest and greatest, but I've seen them on Reverb, a couple of generations old, that still sound amazing for very inexpensive. But that's an important aspect of it. And then I have the, what you guys are actually seeing, the Dream 65, which, man, without it, just so you can hear, I'll just turn it off. So here's with it. I'll take it off. That's just the Benedetto. Going through that Neve emulation I told you guys about earlier. But that's really not doing anything to the tone necessarily. It's just providing this preamp, giving it some gain. And then with it. So it's subtle, but I mean, I will just tell you, because the way these things are set up, that I've got the volume. There's like an output and a volume. And you guys know, if you ever played through any kind of Fender, Fender amps with tubes, that there's a breaking point. Like, you know, for instance, on the amp that I use a lot lately, which is the Fender Tone Master, which is the emulation of this amp again, I can get to about 4 or 5. And if I start digging in, the amp begins to break up. And that kind of cool old like Wes Montgomery, Pat Martino recording way, where it's such a fat, meaty sound. You know, it's great. But in order to get a totally clean sound, I have to put the volume to 0, which is so counterintuitive, you know, because it doesn't function like a real amp, and then compensate with that output. But as soon as I start pushing like volume, you hear? But it's really good sounding distortion, you know, and this is only on like 2 or 3. You know, I'm just kind of guessing by where the knob is. So let me turn it back down. Yeah, but it's great. It's great. Absolutely love it. I've tried using it on live gigs. Can't make it work the way I like it. So it just has become my desktop setup. And I use it when I'm creating all the lessons too. But that's it. That's it, Ken. But I could do a lesson. You know, I think I should do some more of that kind of stuff, like behind the scenes kind of a thing. I think people would be interested in it. And Ken, nope. Something I've also requested, but unfortunately, no. They finally, I mean, the other big request I used to get was the ability to speed up or slow down the lessons. And finally, they added speed control, so that was a great day. But like I said, unfortunately, I can't. All I can do is throw it in the suggestion box. Let me see something here. It's really interesting, Kim. But like, I'm happy that that's working for you. But I'm curious if you were to try the. Let me see what this little slider button does. Nothing. If you would try checking out this, just a regular search engine that's built into the website. No extra charge for mistakes. Yeah, honestly, this is one of the things I really like about doing these with you guys, is because, you know, you're seeing me that are you gonna make mistakes? Like, you know, I'm a human being. The idiot, the videos are so edited. I don't, you know, I leave mistakes in there, as you guys know, that you know, that you're on the website, you've seen. But, you know, obviously I have the time to sit here and edit those to the point where, you know, there are less mistakes, let's say. But here, I can be myself. I can screw up and moan and groan when I do. So this is good. Let's see, Joe. Is there any function to allow networking of like-minded guitarists? Not through the site itself. Like I said, man, I wish, there's a lot of things I wish. But that would be a great thing too, like some sort of intercommunication on the website between users. I can't think of a way to do that, man. I'm sorry. And I don't know, for those of you guys who are using who were using the forum, yeah, just coincidentally, here's a comment about that. They do offer a forum, and I've turned it on and off, and I used to use it as a placeholder to get you guys to going to find the PDFs. I've changed that since then, as you guys know. They're all in the descriptions now. But they're going to phase that out and have that comment section become more of a social media thing, where, like I said, they've added the emojis and the ability to like things. So that's going to be more of where the communication is going to be, which is why I removed it preemptively, knowing they're not supporting it at all. And I could tell, because there wasn't any kind of update to that at all. And the other problem with that is I wasn't getting notifications. Like if you guys comment on a lesson, I get a notification. And I try to respond to those within like a real short time. But the forums, I wouldn't, and I'd hop on there and be like, 100 of comments I haven't even answered. So I had to do away with it. How come that we have the exact musical taste? I don't know. All I could tell you is you have great taste. Let's see what this is. Yeah, I mean, listen, Ken, and any of you guys in your own cities, if especially now that I'm retired, I'm ready to travel. If you have any contacts at places I could play, workshops, venues that I could do master classes and just hang out, I'll go in a minute. As a matter of fact, especially if it's in the United States, you don't have to even worry about taking care of any kind of traveling expenses. I could do that because I want to travel anyway. So if you've got a place for me to go, just let me know and I will be there. Um, I, yeah, I do. I grew up playing rock, so I put my distortion back on. But although there's a 13 gauge string, so I'm not going to attempt to play rock for you right now. But I've got a Strat to the left of me, and got a whole setup in Logic and any DAW that's set up to for that sound. But the 335 that I had from Benedetto, I gave to my son as a gift because they didn't want me to use it on the lessons anymore because they can't sell them. And you know that whole Gibson story. It sounds like Fender's doing the same thing, by the way, now. So that's why I don't play it any longer. All right, and Ken again, thanks for that. But man, time flies. I've been here an hour and a half. That's insane. All right, I'm gonna get going, you guys, and I'm gonna consistently do these every month, especially now that I don't have to go back to UNF in the fall. It still hasn't hit me yet that I'm retired. So I'll devote a day a month to do these because I said it's really enjoyable to connect with you guys and talk to you face to face. And for those of you who are going to the Rocky Mountain thing, the Peter Hendrickson's event in September, I would definitely be there to see any of you there. So looking forward to that as well. All right, everyone. Excuse me. Take care, and I'll see you next time.